Well, it's about the 22nd of May, and as you can see, the sun's finally come out. There's some sun yesterday and sun today. I'm just getting the beds ready for planting now. I've just applied fertiliser over the whole plot using Lawn Builder. That bag does 400 square metres. The plot's about 300 square metres. It works out that there's about 400 grams per bed of dahlias, which should be about 50 foot long, about 15 square metres, so it's probably gone in about double strength. With that I've added bone meal at about 400 grams a square metre, and not a square metre, 400 grams a bed, and the Umo start that we had last year, that again's gone in at about 400 grams a bed, which is probably about 6 times as strong as it should be. It's gone on now. I've raked it into the surface, marked out the beds where they lay, and just run the string line down ready to mark out. This year, just to squeeze a few more in, don't tell the other half, I've gone 21 inches between the rows, and I'll probably be about 18 inches between the plants, only in double rows with about 4 foot between the beds. I don't think in double rows it matters if they're a bit closer along the road, because they're getting full light on pretty much all sides. It's only if you start trying to grow in double and treble rows that you really need to be at least 2 foot apart. One, to be able to get to the middle row to work on it, and two, it lets some air and light around the plants. I do hate growing in treble rows. I did the first year, and trying to work the middle row is such an annoyance. Trying to get through the first row to it, you tend to cause more damage, poke your eye out on the canes, stick yourself in the chest with them. So I do stick to double rows, but I've just tightened up the plants in the rows to get a few more in, and it should make it easier to work. So I've just rough dug it, and then raked, applied the fertiliser and raked. See, there's a few little weeds crept out there. I did give it all a spray off this morning with some weed killer, just to take the edge off it. That's the other half of the first cover, again caned out, but yet to be strung out. And I'll just pull the lumps into the path, and as I walk up and down it soon chunks them down. And that's the next bed to do. As you can see, the soil's good enough to really just rough dig it and rake it over to level it out. I tend to plant in a sort of fairly bucket sized hole, so the soil around the root ball when it gets put in tends to be very friable anyway. And there you can see, if you can, the fertiliser granules just throughout the ground. So it's at that exciting time when we're getting ready, but that's the stage where we're at now. That's the first cover marked out. On average about 65 plants per bed. So under the first cover gives me about 260 plants, 4 rows. And I'll have the same under the next cover. So it should give me about 550, 560 under cover. Next job is to get this all done across the plot and then start digging somewhere in the region of 800 holes. That's always fun to look forward to. It's Wednesday the 30th of May, about 5 in the morning, time to start planting. All the holes have been dug, apart from the last couple of rows. Just managed to nearly get there. As you can see, they've been dug with a planting spade, or a border spade, so it's a nice big hole. This year I've got some Expand and Grow from Scott's, and I'm going to use that as a planting medium, not like you normally would. I'm just going to put a good handful, probably a pot full of that in the bottom of the planting hole, which is in its dry state. It looks a bit like wheat mix still, and then just when I water in, that will take in the water, expand out, and hopefully hold water at the roots longer. It's also got a 6-month fertiliser in there, and we'll trial that and see what happens. We've got 10 bags to use. Obviously this expands to 3 times its size. And the other thing I do is just once the holes are dug, is just put another application of fertiliser on, in this case lawn builder, and I shall just sprinkle that across the holes just before I plant in. So that should get them started. The trick is now to get as many in today as possible. I'd love to get them all in. The beds are marked out, and there's total about 856, I think, exactly. So it's a lot to plant in a day, but if I can, then it'll be better for me and better for the plants. The weather looks like it's going to still be good, so we'll have a go. Right, that's the planting hole prepared. In there's got a good handful of expand and grow. Just after I put a dusting of the fertiliser lawn builder, and then I have put in there a scoop of swell gel or basket mate or whatever you want to call it, and then on top, the granular on top is root grow mycorrhizal fungi. I had a little play with it last year and I think it was beneficial, so I'm going to use it this year, particularly on the giants, large and mediums, to encourage a stronger root system and hopefully get a bit more meat. The swell gel, I know of people that have been using it, and obviously that expands. It's a crystal under the soil and absorbs any water or feed if it happens to be in the water at the time, and will keep it under the roots of the plant for longer and make it more accessible. I've not used it before. I'm going to try it and see what happens. So that's all those holes done. 63 in this first bed, and Canora Chettle 67 in this first bed, and that'll all be Canora Valentine in this one. We shall see what happens. Here's the plants. They've come on well in this last sort of 2 weeks, 10 days of hot weather. I've left the younger ones, the smaller plants, in here just to bring on, and from them I've took the bigger ones out and put them in the cold frame, just to try to even the batch. But a plant like that of Canora Valentine is fine. I'm more than happy to plant that. It's nice and soft still at the base, and it should get away quite well, but as you can see, I just spaced them out in the trays to give them plenty of room. There's the rest of them. Normally I'd have these at the ends of the beds ready to plant, but I just haven't had time. I've been away on business for the last couple of days, so we're going to have to just pick them and plant them. Here's the other half of the plants in the cold frame. This side are all been potted up. We've got some poms there and a few miniatures and a challenger at the end, which are nice big plants as I intended. Those odd few at the end are still the odd mother plants, and these ones are all the smaller pots, and there's the rest of the challenger there in the middle, all ready to go. So hopefully we've got enough, and hopefully we can get it done today. We'll find out. Thursday the 7th of June, planted the last 2 beds, these 2 yesterday. Didn't get a chance between one Wednesday and the other to do any more planting. Since planting it's pretty much rained every day, which is good for the plants. Could do with a little bit of warmth now just to bring them on a bit, but they're all in 860 in total, and those are roughly made up by This bed is 45 Gertler Twilight and 21 Willows Violet. We've got 40 Mary's Germander and 50 Dave's Choice over that bed and that bed. Then there's 40 Barbary Pip at the bottom of that bed. There's about 65, 67 plants a bed. This one we've got 35 Susan Marsden and 50 George Marsden over that bed and that one. So we've got the George Marsden at the bottom and Rossendale Lewis 50 plants at the top end here. Then under the covers we've got 30 Rhonda at the bottom and Ruskin Myra at the top end here, 30 plants, purely because I don't really want to feed that one, so it's in the same bed as the poms, so when the irrigation goes down I'm treating all those plants the same. 66 Oakwood Goldcrest in that bed. Then we've got 50 Winholm Diane. There's about 18 of a Gateshead or an Amber Festival Sport that I think I've got at the bottom. 30 Ruskin Diane and 30 Amber Festival and a few odds on either. This bed we've got 40, I think it might be 45 Rossendale Lottie medium deck, and at the bottom there is two groups of 10 of a couple of seedlings that I've been given to try of small decks. This bed we've got Hillcrest Candy 50 plants and 18 Elmarie at the bottom. In here we've got Kenora Challenger 40. I've gone for the big plant this year and I've literally just stopped them today for the first stop. And then we've got a little mixture of some stuff I've got over from Canada and new bits at the bottom, a few Alf Ramsey and a few odd giants just to fill the holes really. And then this bed is only Kenora Valentine all the way down. That's 66 Kenora Valentine. So that's the planting. I've just gone round. I like to have the plants in a week before I do the first stops. So I've just gone round and done the first stops on the Challenger. I'm trying to hold off on the smalls and not do a two stops, same on the mediums if I can get away with it. But all the miniatures and anything I'm growing pretty much more than about 8 or 10 up has been first stopped. Sort of Myra has been done. I've left the Pip alone. I might have to do a bit of fiddling about later. But the plants are in and you can see they're just starting to colour up in the centre, so we know the roots are getting out and they're starting to grow. And I'll think about giving them their first feed towards the end of the week, early next week, so would have been in about 10 days to a fortnight, and then off we go with the nitrogen feeds. Plenty of slug pellets, keep the slugs at bay all this wet weather. There's plenty of those, not too much else about at the moment, mostly the slugs. So that's them in, and as someone said to me earlier on YouTube, let battle commence. Let's see what comes of these.